Today, y'all, I'm going to share with y'all how to make homemade pancake syrup. Have you ever got up and made waffles or pancakes and seen that you don't have any syrup? Well, I'm going to show you a way that you don't have to run to town to get pancake syrup. You can make homemade pancake syrup yourself using what you probably already have in your pantry. Come on, I'll show you how. Now, when boiling sugar for a recipe, I always like to use a tall pot and a thick bottomed pot because that way it won't scorch and you don't want it to boil over. So this is sort of a big pot that we're going to be using, but I don't want it to boil over, so I'm going to use this one just to be safe. And in the video, you'll see what I'm talking about. When you boil sugar and water together, it boils up and it starts to foam. And if you're using a pot that's too little, you'll have a sugar mess all over the top of your stove. Ask me how I know, because I've done it. Okay, I'm going to cut my pot on a low medium. I don't want it real hot, but I don't want it too low. So a low medium is a good temperature to make homemade pancake syrup on. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our 1 cup of water. And now we're going to add 1 cup of white sugar. Now for this recipe, you're needing 2 cups of sugar to 1 cup of water. And you can use both cups of white sugar, but we're going to do 1 cup of white sugar and 1 cup of brown sugar. And if you want to, you could even use both cups of brown sugar. I like adding that little bit of brown sugar to it because it just gives it that like a molasses sort of taste to your pancake syrup. Now this right here is our homemade brown sugar we've done a while back. Oh, we dropped a little bit. But it smells so delicious when you make your own homemade brown sugar. And you can see I just measured that out for 1 cup. I'm not packing it in like you do brown sugar or anything. We're just spooning it in till I got to 1 cup. So now we're going to add that straight to our mixture. Get it all out of there. I'm going to start giving that a mix. Now it takes it just a little while to get hot and start boiling. That's a piece of the brown sugar with the molasses that we made. It'll dissolve in just a minute. Okay. Now we're just going to let that sit there till it starts coming to a boil. And now while we're waiting on our sugar mixture to start boiling, let's talk about what we're going to put our syrup in. There's different things you can use. I'm going to be using a mason jar. If you've got your old bottle that you just finished your old syrup, store-bought syrup, you could use that, recycle that bottle and use that. You can get those little glass bottles that have the little spout on the end and actually use that. Or like we use this little kind of spout for our olive oil. Now this one right here would even be a good little thing you could use. Now we get these off of Amazon. Travis ordered those a while back, but you could use this for your homemade syrup also. But today I'm just going to be using a mason jar with a regular lid to put ours in today. Okay, Now let's check on it. Now you can hear that it's starting to boil. So at this point right now, we're going to be adding 2 tablespoons of butter. Real butter. Because we want to let that butter melt down in it while it's cooking. Now you can wait till a little bit later in the process to add your butter. But if you want the butter to cook down where it won't form a layer on top of your jar when you open it, just always add your butter as soon as it starts to get good and hot. That way it will cook and dissolve your butter real good. So when you go to open your jar, you won't have that little film of butter on top. Now we're wanting it to come to a rolling boil. Okay, now you can see our butter starting to melt. And now we're going to add just a pinch of salt. Just a pinch, whatever you can pinch in your fingers. That's what I say. Okay, you can see my butter's almost gone. And that's what I wanted. I want to cook it in my syrup while it's doing this process. Now what you're wanting it to do, you're wanting it to come to a high temperature where it's boiling, and even when you go to stir it, you won't mess up the boiling part. That's what you're wanting it to do, to keep its boil even while you're stirring. Now you see how it's getting that white foamy foam on it, and it's going to come up. So that's why I like to use a bigger pot so it don't boil over. Okay? See how it's getting real foamy? Now you see how I'm stirring and it's still boiling. It's not making it slow down. So now we're going to set our timer for 4 minutes. And we're going to let this sit here and boil just like that for 4 minutes. But now you've got to keep stirring because you don't want it to scorch. So just watch your time at this point and cook it for 4 minutes. And keep stirring. Okay, we got 1 more minute to go. See how it's foaming and getting real fluffy sort of? If you've got it in a little bitty pot, it don't take much for that to boil over. So that's why I like using a big deep pot. when making homemade pancake syrup. Okay, now we're going to take it off of the heat and move it to the other side. We've cooked it our 4 minutes. And now we're going to add our flavoring. Y'all see what it looks like. Looks just like pancake syrup, don't it, that you buy. But this is so much better than the store-bought. Okay, you can see how it's thickened up just a little, but it's going to be even thicker as it starts to cool down. So now we're going to take and we're going to add about a half a teaspoon of vanilla. Extract. Now I have added butter flavoring to it, but today we're going to use a little bit of maple to give it that maple syrup taste. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of maple extract. Now we're just going to mix that together. Now you can see on the side of that pan right there, see how it's starting to thicken? Just like you would get the pancake syrup store-bought. Okay? But that's how easy and simple you can make homemade pancake syrup. So now we're going to let this cool for around an hour before we put it in our mason jar. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to add our syrup to our mason jar. But now if your jar or whatever you're using is real cold, just be careful, and you might even want to stick it in the microwave for like 30 seconds just to warm it up, because that syrup, even though we've let it cool, it's still pretty hot even after around 30 minutes to an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and zap my jar in the microwave for 30 seconds just to warm it up. Okay, now my jar is good and warm just for around 30 seconds. If you don't have the microwave or you don't want to do it that way, just run it under hot water and warm it up that way for a few minutes before you go to put your syrup in. Okay, now I'm just going to take the pot and we're going to pour our syrup right into our jar. And you can see just by it running off of that pot how it's a little thicker than water, but it's going to thicken up even a lot more. But there you have homemade pancake syrup. But we're not done yet. We're going to let this finish cooling. It's not as hot as it was, but it's still good and warm, so it's going to thicken up even more. I'm going to leave the lid off of it for just a little bit, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like on our waffles. And you can see right there on the side of the pan how it's got thicker. Here's some that's cooled off a little bit in the pan more that we didn't get out. It's thickening up. Now a lot of people are going to ask, do you keep it in the cabinet, your pantry, or do you refrigerate it? And yes, I keep mine in the fridge. And that's what I would recommend doing, because we did put that 2 tablespoons of butter in it. Can you can it? Yes, you can. I might do a video on that and make a bigger batch and make a few jars and can it. So we don't have to buy pancake syrup at the store. It'll save you a lot of money and time. Now for this video, I went with brown sugar and white sugar. Now if you're trying to watch your sugar intake and you're using sugar substitutes, you could do it. And just make sure you do the same amount of sugar that we done in this video. 2 cups of whatever sugar substitute you use to 1 cup of water. Okay, y'all, I've let my syrup sit in the fridge and chill down. So now I'm going to show you what it looks like. We have this waffle right here that we cooked. So I'm just going to drizzle over some of our pancake syrup right over our waffle. Now you can see how it did thicken once it chilled. We'll just take, I'm going to show y'all how it looks so you can see good. Just take and spread that syrup over that waffle. So the next time you get up and make waffles or pancakes and you see you don't have any syrup, you can make it yourself using just a few ingredients that you probably already have. I hope y'all like this video, and if you do, please don't forget to hit that hype button. It's helping our videos get out there. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, and like always, Travis and myself just want to say a big thanks for watching our videos. I hope this video helps you. If you need some pancake syrup, it's easy, it's simple, and it don't take long. Now you see how we cook that butter in there. Once it chills, you can still see just a little bit of trace of your butter that's tried to, I guess, form back. But all you got to do is put it on these hot waffles and your butter dissolves right back into the syrup. Thanks for watching. It's gonna be good, y'all.